Series 3, Part 4, The Price of Redemption. The weight of their decisions settled heavily on Olivia and Samuel, thick like a fog that refused to lift. They had fought tooth and nail to carve out a life together, away from the shadows of their pasts. But now, with Marcus and the dangerous web of criminal power closing in on them, they could no longer pretend that the consequences of their choices hadn't caught up to them. The price of redemption was high, and they would soon learn just how high. Each day, it felt like the noose was tightening. Every message, every phone call, every stranger in the street seemed like a reminder that they were being watched, hunted. The network Samuel had once been a part of was far-reaching, and now, it was coming for him. But it wasn't just Samuel's past threatening their future, it was the collateral damage. Olivia, the woman he loved, had now become a target as well. They spent sleepless nights strategizing, trying to find a way out. Samuel, once a man of action, now found himself drowning in the weight of choices he had made long ago. He could feel the pull of his old life, the temptation to return to the only world he knew, and the suffocating knowledge that if he did, he would lose everything he held dear. And Olivia, she stood by him, steadfast in her belief that they could fight this. But even she could feel the cracks beginning to form. Each threat from Adrian and each shadow from Samuel's past chipped away at her resolve. She had chosen him, but could they both survive the consequences? It was one of those long, restless nights when the phone rang again. The familiar ringtone that had once been a comfort now sent shivers down Olivia's spine. She knew it was another message, another threat, another reminder that their love had become a battlefield. Samuel glanced at her as she picked up the phone. His eyes were dark with exhaustion, his body tense. They had both been waiting for something like this, a final call that would force their hand. Olivia pressed the phone to her ear, her voice steady, but the underlying tension was clear. Adrian's voice, cold, cutting through the silence. "You've made your choice, Olivia. And now it's time to pay. I hope you're ready for what's coming. You and Samuel both. You won't be able to outrun your past. I'll make sure of it." The words hit like a punch, and Olivia's grip on the phone tightened. She glanced at Samuel, her face pale as the realization of what Adrian's threats meant settled over them both. The message was clear. There was no way out. The past wasn't just something they could bury. It was alive, and it was coming for them. Olivia, her voice firm, though a tremor ran through her. "We're not afraid of you, Adrian. We've made our choices, and we'll face the consequences. You don't control us anymore." Adrian's laughter on the other end was chilling. It was a reminder of the power he still held, even from afar. Adrian's voice, mockingly. "You still don't get it, do you? It's not about control. It's about destruction. You think you can fight back against me, but you're already too far gone. Everyone you love will be dragged down with you. That's the price you'll pay for your defiance." With that, the line went dead. For a long moment, neither Samuel nor Olivia spoke. They both knew that Adrian wasn't bluffing. The danger was real, and their past had come crashing into their future. But in the silence that followed, something shifted. A decision was made. Samuel stood up, his jaw clenched, his hands shaking with the weight of what they were about to face. Samuel, his voice raw but resolute. "I'm not going to let him win, Olivia. I've spent too many years running from my past, and I've watched everything slip through my fingers. But not this. Not you. I'll do whatever it takes to protect you." Olivia stood, her heart racing, her mind torn between fear and an undeniable strength. She had always believed in Samuel, in their love. But now, more than ever, she realized that they were fighting a battle they could never have imagined. The price of redemption wasn't just about making amends, it was about survival. Olivia, her voice unwavering. You're not alone in this. I've chosen this life with you, Samuel. I'm not walking away, not now, not ever. They locked eyes. And in that moment, they both knew what they had to do. The road ahead was dark, filled with threats, betrayals, and more danger than they had ever faced. But they had made their choice. Their love was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. The next day, Samuel reached out to old allies, those from his past who might still be willing to help him. But it wasn't just his past he was confronting, it was the web of people who had helped build the empire that Adrian and Marcus were still a part of. Samuel's decisions had come with consequences, and now he had to face them. Olivia, meanwhile, used her own resources. She reached out to people within her family's network, trying to trace Marcus's movements, searching for any way to get ahead of the game. They couldn't afford to wait. They needed to act before it was too late. As the hours passed, Samuel and Olivia felt the walls closing in. Every minute they spent waiting felt like a dangerous game of cat and mouse. They knew that once Marcus and Adrian made their move, there would be no turning back. They were running out of time. The price of redemption was now a matter of life and death. And neither Samuel nor Olivia was willing to lose what they had fought so hard for. The night fell heavy around them, the city outside their window glowing with the lights of a world that felt more distant than ever. Inside, they made their preparations, their resolve growing stronger with each passing hour. They would fight for their love, for their future, and for each other. The price of redemption might be high, but it was a price they were willing to pay. The tension that had built up in the past few days felt like a pressure cooker on the verge of exploding. Samuel and Olivia were running on fumes, their minds constantly racing, trying to stay one step ahead of the dangerous web surrounding them. With every passing hour, the danger of their situation grew more palpable. Their fight for survival had become a fight for their very souls, and they knew they couldn't afford to make another misstep. After Samuel's call to his old allies, the picture of their situation had become even clearer. Marcus wasn't just a man with a grudge, he was a key player in an underground network of powerful figures who thrived on control, manipulation, and intimidation. And as much as Samuel wanted to keep Olivia out of it, he knew there was no keeping her safe unless they faced this head-on. As the days passed, the information trickled in slowly, each piece adding more weight to the storm they could feel gathering in the distance. But nothing could prepare them for what came next. They had barely begun to breathe, thinking they had some semblance of control, when a knock on the door shattered their fragile calm. Samuel froze, his entire body stiffening. The knock was too calculated, too precise. This wasn't a visitor with good intentions. He glanced at Olivia, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. "Stay back," he whispered, the words more of a reflex than a conscious command. He moved toward the door, his heart racing in his chest. Every instinct told him that whoever was on the other side was no friend. Olivia didn't protest, her eyes wide with silent understanding. He opened the door slowly, his body tense, prepared for anything. The man standing on the other side was not someone Samuel had expected to see. It was Jonah, an old acquaintance from Samuel's past, someone he had trusted, once. Jonah's face, always sharp and calculating, was now drawn tight with worry, a coldness in his eyes that Samuel didn't recognize. "Samuel," Jonah greeted him, his voice low and tight. "We need to talk." Olivia stepped out from behind Samuel, a flash of recognition crossing her face. She had seen Jonah before, though it had been years ago, back when Samuel was still tangled in the network of criminal activities that had once defined his life. "What's going on?" Olivia asked, her voice steady but carrying the weight of the anxiety building inside her. Jonah's gaze shifted between them before he stepped into the apartment, as if the door had already been opened wide enough for him to cross the threshold without being invited. "Things are getting bad, fast," Jonah said, his voice strained. "Adrian's already making moves. The network is shifting. Marcus is pulling strings in ways we didn't expect. They are coming after you, Samuel. Coming after both of you." Samuel tensed, his mind racing. "How do you know this? What are they planning?" Jonah didn't meet his gaze. He looked down at the floor before looking back at Samuel, his words slow and heavy. "I've been in touch with some of the others. The ones who aren't loyal to Marcus. They've been watching, waiting for the right moment to act. The truth is, Samuel, you can't outrun your past anymore. It's catching up to you." A silence fell between them, thick and suffocating. Olivia stood frozen, absorbing every word. She knew that Samuel's past was always a threat, but this was different. It was no longer just a matter of hidden secrets. It was a full-on assault, and they were both standing at the center of it. "Samuel," his voice hoarse, eyes darkening. "You don't have to say it, Jonah. I know what you're telling me, but we fought too hard to lose everything now. We can't just give in." Jonah's expression hardened. He looked at Olivia, his gaze no longer the calm, professional demeanor Samuel once remembered. There was something in his eyes, something darker, more dangerous, that made Olivia take a small step back. "I'm not here to give you options, Samuel. I'm here to give you a warning. Adrian is moving fast. He's already got his people placed in strategic spots. Marcus is pulling strings we didn't even know were in play. You're about to be caught in a war you're not prepared for. And believe me, it's not just you they're after anymore. It's both of you." Samuel's heart raced as the realization hit him. Adrian wasn't just coming after him, he was coming for Olivia too. He had made her a target by being with her, and now both of them were on the verge of losing everything. "Then we fight," Samuel said, his voice quiet but filled with resolve. "I'm not backing down." Jonah met his gaze for a moment before nodding slightly. "You'll need more than just a fight, Samuel. You'll need help, and you'll need to make some tough choices. The price of redemption is steep. It's not just your life on the line, it's hers too." Samuel turned to Olivia, his expression filled with both fear and determination. He could see the worry in her eyes, but there was also something else, a flicker of strength, a resolve that mirrored his own. They had been through too much to let fear dictate their future. "We'll face this together," Olivia said firmly, stepping closer to Samuel. Her voice was calm, but it held the power of everything they had fought for. Jonah shook his head slightly, a sad smile playing at the corner of his lips. "You're both too stubborn for your own good," he muttered. "I hope you're ready for what's coming. Because it's not just about facing your enemies, it's about facing the choices you've made and what you're willing to sacrifice to win." With those words hanging heavily in the air, Jonah turned and left without another word. Samuel and Olivia were left alone, their thoughts consumed by the reality of the battle they were about to face. Later that evening, as the weight of the situation settled deeper into their bones, Samuel and Olivia sat together in silence. The apartment felt quieter than ever, as if the world outside was holding its breath, waiting for them to make the next move. "I'm sorry, Olivia," Samuel said quietly, his voice thick with regret. "I never wanted you to get caught up in this. But now it's too late to walk away." Olivia took his hand in hers, her grip steady and firm. "It's not too late, Samuel. We made this choice, and we'll see it through, together." The quiet promise they shared in that moment was more powerful than any threat Adrian or Marcus could throw at them. Together, they would face the price of redemption, no matter how steep it was.